black people. They're gonna do everything they can to take us away. Yeah, it feels so good, so great. You know what I mean? We gotta stand up and do something. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. My black people, my black people, people, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, you're sleeping. My black people, my black people, yeah. Wake up. We doing too much sleeping. We marching for the wrong reasons. All they do, they wanna lock us away and throw away the key. Crime and violence, trying to treat us with silence. Slavery is legal, so they throw away the key. I got my number a long, long time ago. Time ago, I was destined for failure. That's what they thought. Reality check for the white man, for the white man, for the wrong man, wrong reasons. These niggas is thieves and they wanna take away your life. And if you let them, only if you let them, they gon' do what they wanna do what they wanna do to you. I'ma fight them motherfuckers back every chance I get. I ain't gon' stand for nothing. I ain't gon' turn the cheek. You know what I mean? Stand up, my black people. They gon' lock us away and throw away the key. Stand up, my black people, black people. They gon' lock us up and throw away the key.
Yo, it's OPNation Talk on WeUpRadio.com, man. Every Monday from 6 to 8. What's going on? What's up, man?
What's up? Ray the Shark. I'm your whole co-host, DJ A, sitting here with my man. We ready to get it in, get it on, and get it popping. We're going to take a little time to make sure everybody gets on in here, you know what I'm saying, onto the live broadcast and onto the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe.
They kind of coming in a little right now.
I see we got 6 people looking.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's going to be more here in a second.
So how was your weekend?
Oh,
Good?
It was pretty cool, man. Yeah, man. Had a if you celebrate, you know, it was a very low key for me, very low key holiday.
Same for me as always. Low key. I don't do much. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. We
especially with all the extra stuff going on. But
there's a lot of extras happening. A lot of extra going on. That snow was pretty extra.
Yeah,
That's
it definitely was something I wasn't ready for.
No,
it's
wanted
Cleveland. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what they wanted.
The white Christmas.
Yeah, we got a white day every day, so I don't care. You know what I mean? So
white Christmas.
Just to kick it off real quick, my man, talking about this crazy white dude in Nashville, Tennessee, who committed suicide in a bombing downtown Nashville. His name was Anthony Quinn Warner, and he told, like we was talking about on the off the show, he told people days before the bombing that the Nashville and the world will never forget him. And he decided to go downtown. I don't know what stress he was going through, but he decided to go downtown with a bomb and a message, a recorded message.
Nashville, right?
Yeah, a recorded message downtown Nashville by what was it? The AT&T building. And he had a message that said, "This is a bomb. It will detonate in X amount of minutes." And it was a countdown. And once the countdown was over, it took a couple minutes after the countdown, and then it exploded and damaged several buildings. I think it was probably about 8 buildings.
Yeah,
something like that. That was it was in the RV, so whatever he put in there, it had to be something real big, or he must have been working on that for a while, because for it to be on the street and damage that many buildings in an RV, it had to be some serious
serious
explosives.
artillery,
Yeah.
right? Serious explosives because he was the only one that was hurt. You know, because the time frame that he did it in, it was night, early morning, nobody really downtown. You know, when
on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's why it was because wasn't nobody out there on Christmas Day.
Right. So I think that's why he chose to do it. Because I think if he chose to do it then, because I think if it would have been at a different time, it would have been a lot more casualties, a lot
like
more
the day
going
before,
on.
day after.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It would have been a whole lot
At
of.
least he was considerate of other people's lives. He
Yeah.
might look crazy as hell, but at least he was considerate.
Right. He wanted to kill himself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's cool.
Make a statement while doing it.
There you go. So hey, you're gonna remember him now.
How can you forget?
Well, what a way to go. What a way to go.
So our main topic today is about gun violence, and basically just, ultimately violence, but we're gonna touch more on gun violence than anything.
Right.
And well, you got something you want to start off with?
Yeah, I just want to just throw off a couple stats.
Okay.
This was just about a month or so ago now.
Okay,
this
recent.
happened. Yeah, this was pretty recent. I was looking for something more recent because people still dying
that's
more
a lot
recently.
That's a lot more recent than what I read. 'Cause
Right.
I read some stuff off of 2018, but still kind of relevant to today. You know?
Yeah, I read some of it was. They say Cleveland police reported 7 homicides in 3 days the week of November 3rd through November 13th through the 15th in 3 different neighborhoods. That was like the Miles Union area,
Right, yeah.
Buckeye Woodland area.
People, they was dying basically every day.
Yeah, and it seemed because it was like again. Because wow, in a 3-day period, it was like the article said, it was 7 homicides, and in 3 days, that's like 3-4 people a day, and that's crazy.
Did they specify any of those as like self-defense with like, or just like
I think
gang
they was
violence type of thing?
They didn't really specify if it was like
never
gang violence or what kind of. It was just so happened that these people died by the gun,
right?
In a matter of 3 days, 7 homicides by gun. You know what I'm saying? That's in a couple different neighborhoods, and that's just like, it make you go, wow. What's going on? What's happening? Why is we killing each other at this alarming rate? What's going on with people? What's on their mind?
Yeah.
Is it a retaliatory thing? You killed my brother. Is it a gang thing, or is it just because they were saying we need to get more patrols, more police around the area? You know what I'm saying? And then here's another stat. According to neighborhoodscout.com, they said Cleveland is safer than 2% of U.S. cities.
Is it?
And 2%. That ain't a big number.
No,
but
it's safer.
Safer, right? That's what I tripped on. And they said, and the chances of becoming a victim of violent crime in Cleveland is 1 in 69.
So basically, one out of 69 people is going to die from violence.
From
It
violence,
didn't say like specifically.
Yeah, it just said
like
violent crime.
Violent crime.
Right, and it's 1 in 69, and this was as of 2019.
Okay.
This was 2019 stats, and in Ohio 1 in 357. So that's still a large number. So wow, that's a hell of a stat. I don't think I want that stat to be representative of where I live. Because that means we kind of unsafe. We dealing with some stuff, man. Then I just lost 2 friends due to gun violence just here in the past week or 2. These cats died in the past within about 2-3 days of each other. Rest in heaven to Kenneth Blair, and rest in heaven to Rex the Realist. Rex Avelli, whatever you wanted to call him. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot more other people.
Yeah. But that was just 2 to just jump off the top of my head, because I actually shook hands with these cats, and knew these cats and shared a laugh and a smoke with them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that hit me, a little bit harder when you know them. Even though I feel for all the families that have had loved ones lost due to gun violence, due to any violence, here in the past year. You know what I'm saying? So it's just insane how all this went down. You know what I'm saying? And it's happening at a crazy rate here in Cleveland.
And the dudes that's out here doing it is making the people like me and everybody else who feel the way I feel kind of make us look bad because we carry firearms. You know what I'm saying? Legally, and they actions will reflect on us because people like they not used to people just having a firearm or a gun, whatever you want to call it, and just what I'm saying, it's just expressing their right on the daily. Cause like I was at one of my auntie's houses a little while ago. I mean recently and a little while ago, but one of my other family members was like, "Damn man, why you got them in here? Man, they got guns and stuff." But we all partying, having fun. I don't feel like I have a gun on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times I forget I even have it because I'm so comfortable carrying it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like a watch for you.
Yeah, it's like a watch, a wallet, or a belt. You know what I mean? It's just it's always there. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I don't never think about using it. That's my last thought is thinking about using it. I don't put my weapon, my gun on my belt to say, all right, I'm about to go bust somebody's head today.
Right.
I don't do that. I do that because I don't want my head bust. You know what I'm saying? I don't. That's not my first mindset.
So people think when they see a gun on you, oh man, he out for some trouble. He on some bull, and that's not necessarily the case. You out to protect yourself.
Exactly. And then it be the people that who don't know better. Like I always say, that education on guns is the best defense against gun violence. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense because the more you know, the more you gonna say, I don't need to pull my gun in this situation. I don't.
Just like if you, cause I use it as a like say like I compare it to like a stove in the kitchen. And when you're growing up, your parents always or someone always tell you, don't you mess with that stove, you're gonna get burnt. It's hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So throughout your life, you get told this stove is hot, but then eventually you're gonna learn how to work this stove because you won't want to eat. And you're going to have to do it for yourself after a while.
Right. So you're going to be a bit more careful with using this because you know it's hot. You know it can get burned. Just like a gun, if you know it can kill people, injure people, you're going to be less likely to pull it out.
Because if you think about this, if you know how to work a stove and you know what a stove does, how many house fires are you going to start?
Not many unless I fall asleep, but that's neither here nor there. But if you know how to do
that
it,
rarely happens, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Most people don't cook and fall asleep, but it has happened. It does happen.
But
it's an accident. That's what happens.
But if they know, they probably won't.
Exactly. You shouldn't cook if you're tired.
Exactly.
But they not gonna cook because they are tired. They're gonna be like, man, I'm too tired to cook. I'm not about to cook.
There
you know,
go.
Usually you'll microwave something or whatever. You can't burn the house down on a microwave unless you put some foil in there. It's a possibility.
Man.
But what I'm saying is, if you say for instance, if you as a kid grow up learning about guns, it's less likely for you to be part of the gun violent category.
I understand what you're saying, and I have seen on certain shows or whatnot on TV, little kids with shotguns just shooting and shooting and shooting. But I was like, well, that's kind of good because they learning when to use it and how to use it, and they'll be less likely to pull it on somebody or just shoot themselves or somebody by accident, because they understand how it works.
And that's why I go back to the comparisons of a stove. You will cook when you hungry. You know what I'm saying? You know when to use it. It's just the same as a firearm. You'll know when to use it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like my thought is, if I know how to work a firearm or a gun or whatever you want to call it, if I know how to work it or know when to use it, and then I use it and then I use it wrong, and I know I'm not supposed to do that, then I can understand the punishment. But if you don't teach people how how to or when to or anything about a gun, and then they get it, then they don't know what to do with it. They want to play with it, and then that's where accidents happen because they're not used to it. And they be like, "Here, let me see that," and all the friends is passing it around, and they want to see it, mess with it, look down the barrel, and all kind of goofy stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Next thing you know, somebody is hurt.
Yeah, and now somebody's hurt or
Somebody dead, right?
And it's like, I mean, that's just, I'm only getting to this point, and that's just what I believe, and I'm only getting to this point to say that the new president elect, Joe Biden, has a plan for gun violence. He called it a public health epidemic. So he's saying that basically almost 40,000 people die as a result of firearm injuries. So it's not using the word violent or nothing like that, like gun violence. In this, he specifically saying injuries. So most people not going to really realize that word is a big factor in what that, you know what I'm saying,
Injuries.
what's going on. Because a lot of the stuff is, half of that is basically like suicide. So that's not, in my opinion, I don't feel like that's gun violence. That's something you're doing to yourself. You're not going out to hurt nobody else. It's something wrong with you that you want to do something to you. So
that's a violent act.
I would say,
but
yeah,
at the same, but I understand what you're saying. When you think of violence, you think about it inflicted on others, and I understand that technically it is, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's a thought. I mean, okay, he's saying something about it. That's cool.
Yeah.
He's showing that he's concerned.
He's concerned, but he actually also wants to take basically the rights of bearing arms away from the citizens, because he using words like weapons of war for assault rifles and stuff like that. And,
I understand about the assault rifles. You don't need one of them.
I mean,
a good
not
shotgun
necessarily.
You all right, but you don't need that's something that's going to
but that's an automatic. Semi-automatic is just like, I don't know if you know the difference to it, but for people who do or don't know the difference, because I had to explain to somebody before, and it was like, oh, I don't get the difference. Okay, automatic is when you squeeze the trigger one time and hold it, it constantly shoots more bullets. It's like that. Semi-automatic is when you squeeze the trigger every time you want to fire. Okay. So the faster you can squeeze the trigger is the fastest the bullets is gonna come out. Okay. All right. That's the difference.
Check.
So what's up?
You also got to add the fact that semi-automatic weapons are clips, not revolvers. Revolver. The difference between a revolver is they have a barrel and it rotates. That's a revolver. The reason why they call it a semi-automatic is because they have a clip. Yeah. It's semi-automatic, meaning it automatically puts one in the chamber, but you have to squeeze the trigger every time.
That's a way more clear.
But I wanted to add some stuff. This DJ Goldie Montana, owner, operator, CEO of We Are Radio podcast platforms and more. I just wanted to say that I don't feel the gun violence is perpetuated by people who had education, by people who even care to get the education. Right. I believe that the gun violence is from those individuals who believe they living in a video, a movie. They don't realize gun bullets kill them. They think it's Daffy Duck cartoon type shit. You get shot in the face and you get up and walk away. It's not that at all. Right. You may survive, you may not survive. I know people that are like injured to the point their lives are changed. They live in handicapped situations. It's fucked up.
Bags and whatnot.
It definitely is.
Like, this is real life, people. If you know somebody with a gun, like, just because they have a gun, if they're not licensed, they haven't taken an educational class, or if they just an ill-intended person, all you can do at this point is advise them against using their gun, because when you live by the gun, you die by the gun.
There you go.
It's such a cliche, but it turns out to be so true. The importance of this broadcast is I want to bring awareness as much as I can and as much as we can as a station to the fact that it is something you can do about it. If you know somebody that's carrying a gun and they ain't supposed to carry a gun, why wait till they dead to sit up and say, man, I should have just took his gun, or man, I should have just, you can do it now. Yeah. Like, you don't have to, mothers, you don't have to sit back and watch your son run around with a gun. I don't care what you got to do. I mean, I'm against calling the police and all that, yeah. But whatever you got to do to get that gun out of their hands, I feel you should do it. Because every gun off the streets is potential lives to save. And I understand that terminology. See, a lot of people are afraid of gun control laws, and they don't understand the different aspects of it. Everybody should have the right to bear arms. True. But everybody don't possess the aptitude to carry arms. Yeah. So it got to be some type of screening in play. It got to be some kind of governing body. As much as we hate to say it, it have to be a governing body. I know dudes who proud to walk, I'm a shooter.
Yeah,
bitch.
That's the dumbest. That's the dumbest thing ever.
Bitch.
Like, that's
when I hear that shit, I just want to slap the shit out of you. Ain't no fucking shooter. All the shooters in prison are dead. You just playing like you a shooter.
Right.
And don't nobody want to hear that I'm a shooter shit. You're not. That's not cool.
It's not.
You're telling us, everybody in earshot, that you're here to take somebody in their family's life. Mm-hmm. You're here to take you're here to get your life took or take somebody else's life. Period. Because that's what happens to shooters.
At all.
That's what happens to shooters. They die.
Yeah.
You can only shoot so long before you get shot. And throughout the history of mankind, there's no such thing as a successful shooter.
Nah.
There's nobody who ever lived on this earth that died, oh, I was a great shooter in my heyday. No.
That ain't something you put on your headstone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Here lies a great shooter.
What?
I mean, he, as great as he was, he still ain't here.
Right.
Man, people, when does it got to stop? People, innocent people are dying. People that don't have nothing to do with your bullshit are getting shot. Yeah. Children are getting shot. When does it stop? When do you take some inventory in your mind and say, maybe I shouldn't shoot right now? That should be the fucking movement. Maybe I shouldn't shoot.
Maybe I should just go ahead and take this L because I was wrong.
Yeah, nobody like to fight no more.
Man, I can't. And I'm gonna be honest with you when I say this. It's gonna sound fucked up. I'm not against a person defending themselves in any way they see fit. Because if somebody put their hands on you, they very well can kill you. Yeah, it might be more than an ass whooping. They might kill you. Yeah. My thing is, be responsible when you shoot their ass. Shoot them in the leg. Even though any shot could kill you, at least don't shoot into a crowd. Shoot the person you're trying to shoot.
Yeah, man. Like,
don't shoot at a whole crowd of women, children, innocent men, and people that don't have nothing to do with it. Why?
That's some sucker shit to me. And I mean, and that's what's happening a lot of times. Innocent bystanders are getting killed instead of the intended targets.
Anybody who don't believe that's some sucker shit is a bitch.
Sucker shit.
That's
Any
deep,
of your
though.
dudes
That's
who
real.
jab you up and say, just shoot that bitch up, he's a bitch.
Right,
Yeah.
come on now.
And you following a bitch nigga telling you some bitch shit, bitch.
Tyrone Gaines said everybody's scared and got guns. Bad business. Shaking my head.
It's nothing wrong with being scared and having a gun. Just stop doing bitch shit with your gun.
Yeah, man. Like, because it's making everybody else look
All
bad.
you OGs teach your young dudes, like, look, okay, it's cool. You want to shoot dude, shoot him.
Don't shoot everybody else.
Right. I mean, people go in.
And if you got legitimate beef, why is y'all shooting? My nephew died for nothing.
Yeah, man.
It's people dying over bullshit. Like shit that don't cost a person life. Don't y'all understand when y'all kill somebody, y'all kill a whole bunch of people.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody who knew that person and loved that person is suffering now because you took a life.
And it didn't have to be that way. Just because you was
might
mad
have very
in the
well
moment.
took your own life.
Yeah,
because when you go to prison, you're gonna go for life.
Because you kill somebody, that's an automatic a lot of times. So
You're gonna do so much time that when you get out, you ain't gonna even know where you at.
If you get out. That's if they.
The average manslaughter case or murder case is doing 30 years on a bit. That's if you stay an angel for 30 years. You might get out. You got to join the church, become an activist for Christ, all kind of shit to get out in 30 years.
Yeah, you got to work for it.
Right. You gotta really
for 30
work
years,
for it.
though. You got to be a good slave.
Mm-hmm.
216-772-3393 is the number to call. Call in, man, and tell us what you think about the state of everything as far as gun violence go, because everybody has lost somebody to this. I don't think I know nobody that hasn't lost a person to gun violence. So if
We
you
all
feel like,
have at one point.
what's that?
I said we all have at one point.
Right.
You know, and it's just sad to say that we got to actually got to have this conversation about gun violence. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like I said, it's making other people look bad who know what to do and what they doing.
Right, because
You know
they
what I
think
mean?
everybody with the gun is gonna pull some bull, because a lot of people with guns pull that bull. But like you say, that's not necessarily the gun responsible gun owner.
Michael Golden said, "No guidance is facts. There is no guidance, so be a guide.
Right.
Teach somebody. If it's just one person, if it's somebody in your family you care about that's out here running around with a gun, teach them how to carry it responsibly. Teach them about something. Just pull them to the side and tell them these is reasons why you should and shouldn't shoot.
Yeah.
This is some whole shit. This is some bitch shit. Don't do this dumbass shit. Shit like that, because they need it.
If we had that, the world would be a better place, man. That's why I always say when you should always try to catch them when they're young.
Right.
To help them understand, so when they get older in them type of situations, they'll know
How to
that
react.
this is for self defense. This ain't just going out here just to shoot it because you feel cool or you want to make somebody impress somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where a lot of dumb stuff happen at, is because somebody want to impress somebody. They want to strike.
Yeah.
They want to do something for somebody else that's stupid, just as dumb as them or dumber. I'm gonna say they're dumber because you older than them and you encouraging a young dumb nigga to go out and do something dumb for you because you don't want to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that makes you even dumber.
Right. That you telling them.
To even think that it's cool to have that young dude waste his life to do something for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the dumbest thing in the world, is to be an OG and tell somebody some stupid shit like that.
Exactly. That means you still stupid. You still on that old bull, man.
And nobody taught
You ain't grew.
him nothing. He's still in the same stuck state that he was.
Man,
when
if
he
you're a
was
grown ass
teenager.
man and you out here promoting anything that ends lives, you a bitch.
Most definitely, a sucker, a straight sucker, and we got a lot of suckers out here. That's why there's a lot of dummies, a lot of young dumb dudes, man.
There's a lot of people dying. There's a lot of people going to the pen behind that, man, and it's getting ridiculous now, man. You know, it's getting ridiculous. Let's hope we go into and then here comes New Year's. So you know you're gonna have
and people gonna be wanting to go outside and shoot their gun all in the air and looking goofy. Now, like, see, me personally, if you're gonna go outside, I mean, not telling nobody to do this. Don't take this as advice. But if you're gonna go outside and shoot your gun, shoot at the damn ground in the grass or something.
right.
You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
gonna come back down. No, I don't know where it's going, but it's coming down.
And it might land on you or a loved one.
It's not smart to go outside and shoot it at all, because you can still catch a charge for discharging a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Unlawfully. Yeah, right. Or brandishing a gun, or however they want to feel like they want to hit you with it.
You will
You
be
still
brought
can
up
do 5 years just for that.
on a charge just for shooting your gun in the air. I didn't
Yeah.
shoot nobody, but I shot in the air, and
It's discharging firearm in public. Like, you stupid.
and you tripping
But
because
they don't know that,
Mhm.
because they just like, yeah, man, New Year's, we just gonna go out and shoot. Who the hell said that was what a tradition should be for New Year's?
a lot of people do it, because I'll be hearing it all over the hood, man.
I
New
never
Year's.
did it. I don't do it.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
dumb.
know people do it because they can't afford firecrackers.
It could be it. That definitely could be
I
it.
think the
But
best
it's
thing they
stupid.
could do is do exactly what. Who was that? What's his name? The comedian. Chris Rock. He said they should just make bullets $1 million each.
Yeah.
Yeah, then wouldn't nobody be shooting them all
nobody gonna
willy-nilly
shoot.
like that. When you got them as cheap as they is, then you can go out and get you some. But
The
now,
bullets
yeah,
cost $1,000 a pop.
a bullet, yeah, you wouldn't have that all
You
that
wouldn't have that
shooting.
running around shooting in the air shit.
Automatic. We think we rich.
Yeah.
They say in city limits. Basically, yeah. If you shooting your firearm in city limits, like if you in your backyard, that's where you.
If you out on the
crime.
farm and you got a shooting range in the back, that's different.
Yeah, because I read up on the law on that too. Like, if you have open space, and long as your the bullets don't leave the range or the area you shooting, it's totally legal.
Wow.
Long as you have like a stopper behind the target, which is like a dirt hill.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's totally legal, as long as they don't leave the property. you can shoot. And that's where a lot of people don't do that research. They just like, oh yeah, I'm about to go in my backyard. No, nigga, you got somebody on that next street. You are behind their house, and that can go in their house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like if they gonna do stuff with guns, like with anything, it don't matter what it is. Do some research on it and see what it is that you can and you can't do that's legal or within your legal limit. But to do.
That's a thinking person, and that's a little more intelligent person. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these people ain't gonna do that.
I do that.
They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna. They just want this gun. They're gonna get it from JoJo around the corner and just say, "Yeah, now I'm strapped. I can do what I do now. Now I'm a shooter." You know what I'm saying? I can get out here.
And they ain't never shot the thing in their life.
Nope, but they got a gun though.
Then the problem is you got 30 clips. You can't, for one, if you a shooter. And you supposed to be that much of a shooter. Why you got 30 rounds?
Right.
You don't need 30 rounds
to shoot your shot and be accurate.
That's why they because like they think, like you said, they think they're in the movie. And they want to turn the gun to the side, turn their head, duck behind cars, and try to shoot.
And hold the gun like this.
Yeah, hold the gun all stupid sideways and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a movie, man. Yeah. It's like Goldie said. It's not a cartoon. You
it's
don't
not a video
game.
game.
This ain't paintball.
None of that. Nothing like that. It's real bullets that can do real damage to real people.
Man, I've done hard time with hard criminals that became hard because they took a life by mistake. And they say all the time in group settings and everything like that, I didn't know what I was doing. If I'd have knew it would have led to this, I would have definitely not done it. It happened so fast, I didn't realize it, that I took both of our lives. And all this is just a life of regret and misery.
Yeah.
And even still, what if the shooters people come get you?
Exactly.
What if the police might be the least of your worries?
Exactly. You got to worry about the people on the street that you may not know about.
There might be some old lady walk up to you. That was my grandson. Blam, blam, blam.
Remember in New Jack City, the old man came and Nino Brown? He's always required in hell.
Ain't no secrets no more. It's social media. People telling everything.
Yeah, they want to be cool. They want to look cool.
On
they
want
to tell on themselves on music, on social media, just in person. They just want to brag about stuff.
Just like my boy said, Guru, just to get a rep. You know what I'm saying? Just to get a rep.
That's why I say, man, they need this type of stuff. I mean, this and other things, amongst other things, they need this type of stuff in school.
Yeah.
That way, because like you got sex education. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they even still teach it, you know what I mean?
Probably not.
But my thing is, like, at least, you know what I'm saying, you got some idea of what to do when you get in that situation. We ain't hear you on the mic. But I'm just saying.
I think that'd be a good idea as a college course. But I don't think in elementary and grade school that's a good idea, because that would encourage them to get guns and do stuff. They'll know what to do with them. I wouldn't
say give them the gun in school. I would say teach them about.
But their parents got guns at home.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to educate no kid. If anything, I would tell them say no to guns. If you see one, get away from it. That's the damn education.
I mean, that would be part of it. I'm not saying like.
I'm not trying to teach children how to safely operate firearms at all. I think anybody who teaches a child how to work a gun is a bitch.
Damn.
I wouldn't.
Me personally, don't feel the same. I would.
I mean, that's your opinion. I'm saying my opinion. I wouldn't teach a child, because childs are mentally unstable. Childs lack the capacity to make rational thoughts when they upset or angry. That's why they just cry and fall out on the ground. Exactly. That's why because they lack the mental capacity to handle a stressful understanding. So the last thing I want to do is tell my kid how to use my gun.
Right.
He might come home from getting jumped at school and grab my gun and go back and shoot everybody. That's what's been happening.
Yeah, but that goes to the kids that don't know better.
But you assuming that children do know better. You do.
No,
with your theory,
I don't assume
you
that.
know your child. So if you feel you can teach your child and he has the mental capacity to handle that, but to open that up to a whole public school, I don't think it's a good idea, because all kids ain't created the same, and all kids ain't got good, responsible parents that teach them the follow-up behind what they learned at school. I just don't feel that would be good as a grade school curriculum course. The only thing they should be teaching them in school is if you see a gun, run. That's it.
I understand. but you know, like for an example, all right, a little white kid, probably 10 years old, something like that. They have their parents teach them how to shoot guns, how to work them, when to shoot them, all that. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong, but at least that child has that understanding of, all right, I know when to use it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying that go to school and you get a gun there and you.
But
know
once
how to break
again,
it down
that's that child's parents.
Yeah,
they know that child. They know that what their son is capable of. When you open it up to a public setting like a school, all the kids ain't created equal. All the kids ain't got the same understanding of life and death. All the kids, you might be teaching the same kids you teaching gun safety to be the one to come shoot the whole school up. He never knew about a gun until he took the class.
I'm sure he did. I mean, most kids will know about guns.
Once again, I feel like you're assuming that all kids know what you or your kids know. It's not that case, man. Some kids don't know nothing, and kids don't know nothing until you teach them.
Yeah.
So I teach my kids to stay away from guns. If you see a gun, get away from it as far as you can. If it's not my gun, don't. If it's my gun, don't ever touch it.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened. Even if it's an intruder in the house, I don't want you involved. I want you to run. I want you to live. I don't want you to challenge nobody. I don't want you to be a tough guy. I don't want you to be a soldier. That's not what I want for my kid.
That's not what I meant when I said that they should.
I'm not saying that's what you meant. I'm saying I'm just speaking my personal. This is all me. This ain't got nothing to do with what you saying. I'm saying I feel children lack the mental capacity to even handle a firearm. Any child, because children are emotional. They don't have the discernment. They don't have the adult ability to know right from wrong. They don't know about the consequences they face, and that's why 80% of the kids in the juvenile detention home is in there for murder. They didn't know they was gonna give their whole. They didn't realize the ramification of what they was doing. They was just doing what they saw on TV and videos. So now you got children that's glamorizing guns, and you think it's a good idea to teach them how to properly use the gun? Yeah. I would rather them fumble around with the gun and don't know what they doing than be like clack, clack, kick, boom, boom, bam, 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 kill everybody at the bus stop.
Nah, I mean, like you said, everybody different, and I understand.
Everybody's child is different too. Everybody's grown up on different principles and morals and all that. Kids watch TV and they're raised by TV and rap music right now. To teach a kid, I think it would be a mistake if you decide as a parent. That's different. I'm not saying don't teach your kid how to use a gun. If you a parent and you know your kid's aptitude and you know what he can handle and you know if he's ready for that, and you decide as a parent to teach your child that's a whole lot different than have a DJ A's face on the screen. That's a whole lot different. That's a whole lot different than going to school and teaching the whole class how to use guns.
I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but I also feel like, when I said teach them in school, I'm not saying that has to be a class that all kids have to take. Of course, like a lot of them not, or some parents are like, no, I don't want my kid to be in that class, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like just like you said, sex education. Some parents don't want their kid to be in that class. Like, no, I don't want my kid to take that class.
I almost said sex ain't killing people, but it is.
It is.
It is.
But sex is different than violence.
It is.
A kid could get bullied in school and go grab a gun.
But you think about this too. There are also people that rape people, and that can turn into a violent act. So, and I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because you took a sex education class that you're going to be a rapist or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anyway it go, all things could have its own bad ending. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not saying like just because I feel like it should be in schools that all kids and all ages should take.
So how would you feel if a kid took gun education class in school, went home and got a gun, and came back and shot the school up, and your kid got shot?
I would feel like that whoever taught him about gun safety failed him.
But would you feel like they should have never taught him about guns?
No, if I agreed to him to being in that class, I wouldn't say that.
You ain't agreed to him being in that class. That's not what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Okay. A kid took a gun class at his school.
Right.
came back to school and shot up the cafeteria where your kid was eating.
Exactly.
And killed your kid, he would have never knew how to work a gun or what a gun probably was until he took that class. Would you regret that he learned that gun training in school, or would you be like, well, he just made a mistake and they should have taught him better? How would you feel? Your kid is dead.
Honestly, I wouldn't feel like that, because he still could have did that without them teaching him how to work the gun. Because kids go to school all the time with guns, and that's why they got metal detectors. Because they, you know what I'm saying, they get mad, like you said, they unstable, and they be like, oh, my daddy got a gun, I'm just gonna go grab that. For one, it started at home. The father or the mother, whoever the parent is, got to let them know you're not supposed to touch this. You got to lock. They got to lock
once
it up.
Again, you're speaking from a perspective of an ideal world.
I understand.
And what I'm trying to tell you, these kids ain't right. All these kids ain't right in the head. Some of them got emotionally bipolar issues. It's too many variables that could go terribly wrong for you to for somebody to say, let's teach kids in school how to use guns properly or have gun safety or whatever. My kids, stay the fuck away from guns. If you see a gun, go the other way. If one of your friends got a gun on them, leave that group. If you even think it's a gun in a place where you're at and it's uncontrolled, leave that area. Don't even be around it. I want my kids to survive.
Exactly. I would still say the same thing. Like, that would be part of the class. Like, whatever, if there is or ever was a gun class, safety, of course you don't stick around it. Like, I'm not saying just because you got a gun you want to use it or whatever. You got to know when situations arise like that to get the hell out of there. Like, I'm not saying just because I believe in people having guns you should know how to use it, shoot it all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, at the same time, you should know when to get the hell out of that situation too. So that would be a part of the lesson. Like, this is not because I'm teaching you how to use a gun that you should use it at all times. If you can get away, get away. You know what I'm saying? Because it's serious. Like, just because you think you could defend whoever, yourself or anybody else, don't mean you ain't gonna die. Right. Now, that's my whole thing. Like, don't be a cowboy.
Let me ask you this: if your child was fighting and there was a brick laying on the ground beside him and dude was on top of him punching him in the face, wouldn't you want your child to pick that brick up and bam this dude up off of him and survive?
Of course.
That's the same thing that happened if it was a gun right there. He'll pick it up and shoot him.
Nah,
that's the same thing.
I'm not saying it would or wouldn't.
No, what I'm saying, my point being is that in an emotional situation where your life is being threatened, or you feel like you're in danger, or you feel like you need to take action before action is taken against you, you're going to resort to any means necessary to survive. And you can only resort to what you know. You ain't going to just automatically think of no new shit. You're going to know what you know, and you're going to do what you know to do. A lot of these kids lash out with gun violence in school because that's the way they see to defend themselves. Right. Mentally, they're not stable. I'm not saying they shouldn't have a class. If they have a class on gun, they should not have a gun there. They should not. It should not include.
Not have a gun there.
There should be no parts of this class that teaches them about the mechanism or operation of guns. It should be a class about how to be safe if a gun is in your presence or what to do if you see a gun.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like, that's.
I would agree with a class like that. But sex education teaches you about how to have sex, what protection to use, where to go if you make a mistake, how to approach it. All this, that's different than like the gun. When you talking about gun class, I'm thinking a whole class where they got a gun out.
No, don't have the gun there, because for one,
even if they have images of the gun, I don't want none of that. I would rather them just say, if you see a gun, this is what you should do. Teach them how to call the police. Teach them how to go and hide. Teach them how to get out of the range of somebody pointing a gun in their direction. Teach them how to zigzag run. I don't know what you're gonna teach them.
Whatever is agreed upon on that. Like, I'm really following you on that. Like, I would rather them not have the actual gun in class. You know what I'm saying? But at least know, like, what to do in the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they need to get out of there, or if they need to inform somebody, like, yo, Jim got a gun over there, and I don't know what he gonna do with it because he's been talking a little reckless today. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. It's just
they should have a school hotline number or something where they can call and be like, look, I just saw Lil Juan with a gun in school. I don't know what to do, but he in the cafeteria right now with a gun.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
said
that's why
teach
you
your
went to the
kids how to
principal.
fight. Yeah, definitely teach your kids how to fight.
Fight
For
But,
sure.
but you also got to teach your kids how to get off that damn game.
Right.
Stop buying games for them to make them sit down and stop and get out your face. And like a lot of parents don't teach their kids anything. They just want them to go play on YouTube, go on the game, mess around on electronics, and just sit around and be lazy.
And be a
And then when they
babysitter.
get in a situation, because like a lot of kids playing like Fortnite, Call of Duty, and gun games. You know what I'm saying? And they
It's desensitizing.
and it's messing with their mind, and they thinking like, okay, it's like this on the game.
We got another
I'm gonna go
life. We're
ahead
gonna
and
just
hit you.
jump
I'm
back
gonna
up
use
and get
this.
to back shooting. You know,
Yeah,
that ain't how
right.
it works.
You know what I'm saying? And then that could play a part. You know what I mean? And a lot of parents is not putting their kids in them kind of activities like boxing and karate and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or just a sports environment. They just let them play the game, and then they're using that as reality because that's all they know. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really registering to them that this is just a game. This is not how life works.
Right.
And that's basically what I'm like, where I'm getting to. I'm like, I understand what you're saying all the way, Goldie, and I totally agree with you on a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that I feel like if they know, at least that'll give them a chance to say like, cause like for instance, if I know that selling drugs is wrong, which you will know when you're growing up, selling drugs is wrong, and then I get locked up for it, I can't fight the fact that I sold drugs and got caught. I got to do my time. The same with if I know about how guns work and I go out and shoot somebody and I'm dead wrong, of course I'm gonna get the time, and I should get that time, and I should know this is the consequence of what's going to happen if I go out here and be irresponsible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I know that I don't want to go through that, then I'm not gonna do what it's gonna take to go through that. You know what I'm saying?
you're saying the
and that's just my
knowledge.
whole thing. It's just if you know, I feel like you're not gonna get burnt.
And knowing is half the
That's
battle.
just like that's
Whatever happened to Scared Straight?
that's a good question.
Knowing is half
'Cause
the
they
battle.
need that. You know what I'm saying? They
don't-
need something.
They have it on TV, but it don't look like it work all the time. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, I don't think they do it in Ohio no more.
yeah, they might have cut it with all the other good programs for students here.
They,
You know?
I know right now with Scared Straight they don't do it in with COVID going on.
No.
Yeah.
Cause
'cause
these
it's so
little
many-
kids like little sniper missiles with the COVID.
Yeah. And
They don't be wearing masks. They be
Yeah,
digging in their nose, wiping it on stuff, all
coughing and
kinds-
sneezing and
Right.
sneezing.
Yeah.
They
Kids
don't-
is
digging in
nasty.
their
They
mouth
don't
and
know.
all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't
be
even.
knowing.
And most kids don't even take it serious. Have anybody heard of a kid with COVID?
I
Honestly,
heard it in cases.
I mean,
I'm saying, do you
I've
know
heard
a
they
kid?
had-
I don't know no
I
kids
don't
that
know
had
one
it.
personally, but I know when I do bus driving. So it was a family, brothers and sisters of 6 that had to be quarantined before they got on my bus. So I don't know if one of them had it or if a parent had it and they just was in contact or what.
I think the kids trying to kill all the grown people. They snipers.
This they
COVID
little-
snipers.
This they
they
playing.
Yeah, they
They
trying
go
to give
to
the
they
kids.
go to school, come home, and kill their parents with COVID.
Man,
They trying
it's
to
like my
have a-
daddy told me I couldn't have a snack and sneeze on him.
They trying to
Man.
kill the kids that COVID vaccine because they feel that they are super spreaders. Because like you say, they don't know they got it and they don't care they got it. They kids, they don't really
Yeah.
fully understand. so
They didn't authorize it for
Exactly.
16, under
Exactly.
16.
That was such a good point you just made, DJ. They don't really understand.
they don't understand
don't.
it.
That's
they,
what I'm trying to tell you about a gun class.
they don't
All right.
understand it. They
Right.
don't understand
They
it.
see
but
a gun,
you're
don't really
right, though.
understand that when they pull that trigger, it's forever.
Yes,
Right.
but you're right because it's like because if you come to think of it, right, like it was stuff. It was lessons at school that they was trying to teach me. I never understood. Like it's like trigonometry and stuff. I don't understand that.
He said like trigonometry.
I don't understand that. You know
I
what I'm saying?
still
But you
don't.
try to teach me.
That's the gun class, trigonometry.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I'm giving that as an example. It's like everybody not gonna understand every class. And I had the opportunity to transfer out of that class because I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I went to the principal office and said, look here, I don't know nothing about this. I don't understand it. I want to do another class that is fit for me. And they let me get out of that class and go to a different one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That took that credit.
But I still was in a math class. I just didn't go to that one. I was in a different one.
Oh, I used to
You know
cut
what
my
I'm saying?
trig class.
I think at some point they realized that in real life you will not be using trigonometry.
Unless you go into certain fields.
Yeah.
And how many of them little kids is going into them fields where you gonna actually use that?
It's a lot of people, period, who's getting trained in certain things is not using the education. Like a lot of the college kids, they not using that stuff.
I think a lot of kids fail to use the guidance counselor services in school now. Like when we was coming up, you went to the guidance counselor and you said, well, I want to be a firefighter. And she said, well, you're going to have to take this class, and guide you on the path of what you thought you wanted to be.
Right.
Well, now it's just the guidance counselor, like, here's your schedule, go to school.
That's it. Yeah. They ain't guiding no kids no more. They ain't dropping no knowledge into the kids no more. They was like the kind of the buffer between the parent and the teacher. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because they kept you kind of focused because, like you say, you went to them and said, I want to do this. And they pointed you in them directions.
Right.
You know, and they was like the buffer. They was like the helper. They was supposed to guide you and counsel you in the right direction.
Right. Exactly. But the schools ain't the same, man. It was already terrible when I was in there.
They very terrible now, especially with this remote learning, and they don't know. Oh man, it's really crazy.
Man, I saw a video of a teacher farting on Zoom the other day. It had me dying.
I saw that same. It was loud too, but I saw that same one too, and she kind of like,
Brains, what's up?
What's up, man?
What's up? And she kind of like tried to play it off a little bit, but yeah, we knew.
I think as a kid that would have made my whole life.
Right.
Yeah, the teacher is real now. You know what I'm saying? It just ain't.
And they at home. All they gotta do is put on a shirt. You know what I'm saying?
I think like my goal every day in school was to try to make my teacher cuss.
I don't know. That could be. I ain't never really upset my teachers too much. I just
no, we was part of an elite group of students.
Yeah, only teacher I really disrespected for real was my Spanish teacher in 6th grade. We used to throw paper bars at her every time she brought us chalkboard, and it would be like 10 of us. We all have our paper ball ready.
Throwing spitballs.
I hated those either. Only teachers I didn't like was the liars, the prejudiced ones, and the condescending ones.
All of them.
Oh, I hated Mr. Jones, man. That dude always.
He always act like, well, when you grow up, you're not going to need algebra anyway.
He was just like, well, my students at Cleveland State can do this. I'm like, bitch, we not at Cleveland State. We at Collinwood Collinwood High School.
Right.
Come on now. I mean, damn.
Everybody had that condescending teacher that talked to him like they knew in their heart that you weren't going to be shit when you grew up.
I hated that mug, man. I hated him.
Look at me now, Mom. I'm on TV. Can you hear me?
I had a teacher named Miss Fryman. I think her name is Freeman. Miss Fryman. She was a math teacher. That was that was the teacher I got out of her class.
Okay.
But she was basically one of them make you feel like everything is okay, but then give you an F anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do your hard. I'm talking about breaking your neck.
And nowadays, kids would just go to school and shoot her.
That's not funny, but it might be true. It might be true.
Yeah.
Zoom is taking up the little class. Remote learning is taking over, and I bet you, and I predicted this years ago, like over 5-6 years ago, the celebrity teacher is coming. The celebrity teacher is coming. That one teacher where it costs, you have to subscribe to this teacher because he has such a work ethic and such a great teacher that they're going to have statistics. Watch what I tell you. And you're going to have to pay to get the best teachers for your kids, and it's going to all be remote learning.
And all the teachers that's average teachers is going to be the ones.
Headphone sales is through the roof.
Earbuds. They ain't even no damn laptops no more.
They got Chromebooks.
They got a shortage on them. You know what I'm saying? Right, and on Chromebooks. They got a shortage on that, man. You can't find a device like that in no pawn shop or no electronics.
There got to be some side effects to all this Wi-Fi usage.
Gotta be there.
It's the screen, man. That screen,
it radiates radiation.
And cause headaches and insomnia and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Plus eye strain. I mean,
Yeah.
your vision ain't gonna be the same. Plus your mental ain't gonna be the same because you receiving all this energy. You know, this
Yeah, the
radiation from
off of the screens and all that.
yeah, man. That's a whole other subject matter right there, man. We could dig deep into that. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. The side effects, you know what I'm saying, to all this technology. They say it's easier, but okay. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, this has been another fantastic
Damn, you could have finished your sentence.
No, we're going to go ahead.
Can I just shout out to some of the viewers on the Facebook real quick? All right, we got my man Tyrone. What up, Crazy T?
What up, man?
Yeah.
Michael Golson Jr.
Yeah.
He got Brains, MC Brains.
Shayna Evans.
Shayna Evans. She in the building.
Got Hail Mary.
Weatherby.
Yeah. And we got a couple other people who didn't want to comment, but we had a nice little viewing today.
All right. You know what I'm saying?
I wish they would have called in like they said they was on my Facebook earlier. They
Right.
Call
You know,
in, but,
call in and talk about, but you know how it go.
It'd be like that. They get
Right.
shy. But I'm Rated Shark. You know what I'm saying? Rated Shark on Facebook, Rated Shark 4 on IG, and you can always get at me. WeUpRadio.com, OPNation Talk.
OG DJA on Facebook, OG.DJA on Instagram, y'all. Tune in next week, 6 to 8 p.m. Monday, OP Nation Talk Podcast. WeUpRadio.com.